What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Phasmophobia Beginner's Guide. Today we're going over our second map in Phasmophobia. Today we're covering Ridgeview Roadhouse. In this video we're going to be going over good placement areas for prep equipment, item spawn areas, main hiding places in closets, and specific tactics that we use for this map. As always, there are timestamps down below, so without further ado, let's get into the video. Ridgeview Roadhouse is the largest of the three suburban homes in Phasmophobia. With 3 stories, this map is far larger than Tanglewood, which I covered last week, so for sensors wise, we're going to be using all 4 of them to try and get as much coverage as possible. It won't be 100%, but we'll be as close as we can get. So for the placement, you're going to be putting 1 sensor on the right hand side once you enter the house on that little wall above the lamp and the little table there. For the second one, you're going to be putting 1 in the master bedroom on the back left side of the bed on that wall. And then for the last one on the main floor, you're going to be putting 1 on the garage wall on your left side once you enter. Doing all of these will get you coverage of about 99% of the main floor. It's not going to be covering everywhere. You're going to be losing space of the closet in the master room, but for the most part, you're getting as much coverage as you really can get. Now for the top floor, we're going to be putting 1 sensor in the teen boys bedroom on the back wall on just the right side of the window. That's going to be covering both of the bedrooms and a tiny bit of the hallway. So it's not going to be foolproof, but with only 1 sensor left, that's really going to be your best option. Now, since this map is pretty large, we're not going to be really able to have a consistent all the time placement for motion sensors, so I'm not going to say any specific spots because the ghost can be in a lot of different places with this map, even if it's a roamer. So for prep equipment, that's really going to be it. I'm going to talk about a couple camera tricks that you can use, but that's going to be talked about in the tactics. So let's move on to spawn items. So for Ridgeview Roadhouse, sadly the Ouija boards don't spawn here, so that's not going to be an option to be able to use or get money from. So for the items that are left, we have the keys, the sinks, and the circuit breaker, and also the bones. So for the keys, there's only 2 keys that spawn in Ridgeview, and that is the car key fob, which spawns in the foyer on your right once you enter the house on that little table, and of course that controls the car. If it starts beeping, you can just grab that key fob and it'll turn it off if you right click. And then for the second key, that is the green unknown key, which spawns in the utilities room on the shelving unit. And for the green key, as for the last video, we still don't have any use of these keys, so I have no idea what they might be used for in the coming future, but as of right now, there's no use for them, and as far as I've seen, you don't get anything extra from grabbing these keys, but that's where the green key is. So next up are the sinks. For Ridgeview, there are 5 sinks that can be used, and the locations are the kitchen, the master bathroom, the powder room on the main floor, the upstairs toilet room, and the upstairs main bathroom. If you didn't know, the sinks are used for objectives to have the ghost turn on the sink and showing dirty water. Snapping a picture of this will earn you extra money, and if it's an objective, you'll complete that. Sometimes the ghost will be a little too far away from the sink, so kind of just judge whether or not you want to take the long amount of time possibly to get it to run the sink, but if you get it to, you get extra money. For the circuit breaker, there's only 2 spawn spots, of course, 1 in the back garage and the other being in the basement. The breaker location will always show on the map in the trailer, so check there first, but if you happen to forget when you're inside, those are the 2 locations. And last of all is the bones. Now, as I said in the previous video for Tanglewood, the bones always have a very random spawn point, so I'm not going to say where they might spawn because they could literally spawn anywhere on any single time you play the map. But overall, just keep your eyes peeled for a little white bone looking thing, and if you find it, snap a picture, you get money for that, and if you snap a picture then grab it, you get money for grabbing it, so you might as well just do both. So that's it for the item spawn areas. They're kind of just very basic, but that's kind of how it is for Ridgeview. Next up is going to be a quick one, and that is hiding places, and specifically closets. So of course, if you are getting hunted, the best thing really to do is just go inside of a room that obviously is not the ghost room, and close the door and be quiet. You don't need to turn your flashlight off. I found out that you don't have to because it doesn't affect anything, so don't worry about that. But if you just hide in one of these rooms and be quiet, you're going to be fine. But for closets, if you're kind of trapped and you can't get into a room, there are going to be 4 closets. There are none on the main floor, but for the top floor, there are 4, and that is 1 right ahead of the stairs on your right wall, 1 in the hallway between the bedrooms on your left in that little nook, 1 in the back of the hallway on your right hand side on the very back wall between the bedroom and the bathroom, and then there's one last one inside the boys' bedroom in that hallway on your right. So those are it for closet locations. If you get hunted and you can't get into a room, try and find a closet. So last off for today, we're going to be going over my personal tactics and the tactics that my team uses whenever we're going into Ridgeview Roadhouse. So first off, I'm going to cover a camera trick that is useful on this map and also on one of the other smaller house maps, and that is just using a camera and a tripod, and this will be able to be used on either the kitchen or the living room. So I've found that whenever I do this, since I'm almost always in VR, it's kind of rare that I play on desktop. So for desktop, it's a little more difficult, but you can still get it. It might just take a little more time. But that's by going up to either the living room window on the porch or the kitchen window on the lawn on your left, and aiming at it, if you're on flat screen, aiming at it with your cursor and then pressing G. It might take a couple times, but you can get it to glitch into the window seal, so it's kind of half in, half out of the window. But doing this in either the kitchen or the living room gives you really nice coverage of one of those rooms if the ghost is in there. So if you're looking for ghost orbs, you have a perfect view to try and find those. Next up for the tactics is something that I always cover in my videos, which is if you have a 3+ person team, is having 2 people running with an EMF or a thermometer. Currently, quite frankly, the thermometer is overpowered, but it's great for us because it makes us not die as much. And that's just by having 2 people going room to room, trying to get any readings on those, because pretty much, at least with the thermometer, if you get any sort of reading below 13 degrees Celsius, you're in close proximity to a ghost. So that narrows your hunt down quite a bit, even if your map like this is quite smaller than compared to the asylum, which we will cover in another video, because that will take a while. And one final thing for tactics, for us personally, that we use, is by just placing a motion sensor outside of the room that the ghost is in. Honestly, this applies to every other map, really, but I'm just noting it on this map because we've noticed it more often than not. If, say, the ghost is in the master bedroom, there's a lot of times where it has roamed into the living room. So putting a motion sensor in that doorway and also in that other doorless entryway will help you pretty much navigate if the ghost is constantly moving around, which, especially for this map, it's quite often. So that's it for all of the tactics for us. Obviously, these are all personal opinions and things that have just really helped us. So if you have any others, of course, let me know. So that's going to be it for my guide on Ridgeview Roadhouse. I'll be covering all of the other maps in Phasmophobia in the coming videos. If you liked this video and want to see more videos like this and more VR gameplay and guides like this, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I release new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I stream live on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you have anything else that you want me to cover in Phasmophobia, or anything else VR related, be sure to let me know in the comments below. As always, if you liked the video, leave a like. It helps me understand if you guys enjoy this type of map content and this Phasmophobia content and want to see more. Alrighty, everyone. I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.
Yeah, we got 2 right here.
there, I'm gonna toss this ball. If you would like to toss it back to me, that'd be sick.